Ladies and gentlemen, the American Jury and Bulldog Nation, we don't do a lot of interviews. We don't do a lot of interviews by choice because I don't want to share the microphone. I'm just kidding. But anyway, today we have a special guest that we want to interview, Shannon Devine Tomlinson. Now I got to ask you, Shannon, how did you get the name Devine? I mean, did you pay for that? Did you trademark that? Or is that truly a family name?
It's truly a family name. Actually, my grandfather was a divine who married a bishop.
Are you kidding me? That's a good story.
Yeah.
Now, Shannon, you're a lawyer by profession out of Grant County, correct?
Yes.
And you are here today because my good friend on Facebook, this is funny, you know, I've never met Deborah Jo Dirt.
Really?
Never met her, but I know who she is, and we share the same politics. And she's taken up this battle, which we're going to talk about today. And I've offered to help, so I'm more than happy to help. But Shannon, why are you here today? What is the cause of Shannon Devine Tomlinson and Deborah Jo Dirt?
Yes, and a cause it is. What we're here today and what we're fighting community-wide, not just on Chambers, is the fact...
Chambers Road in Walton. Go ahead.
In Walton, Kentucky, yes. What we're dealing with is previously there has been unchecked industrial development throughout Boone County, as we're all aware. There is a farm that wraps behind my property on Chambers Road.
The Greenfield Farm.
Yes, the Greenfield Farm, and that extends down to Chambers. They have filed for a zone change from agricultural to industrial. Unfortunately, this passed the Planning and Zoning Commission unanimously, even with community outreach outcry. What has happened is they have this plan called the Comprehensive Plan 240 now.
Let me stop you for a minute.
Sure.
Because I think I can let the viewers understand where we're talking about.
Sure.
If you drive down Dixie Highway between Walton and Richwood, north or south,
yes,
between Interstate 75 and 25, there are a series of colossal buildings, the gigantic warehouses.
Yes.
And they have built them one after the other. And they're now the Greenfield Farm, which butts up against the Ellis Farm. For those that have been around for a long time, Lenny Holbrook's farm. Prior to that, it was the Bussey Farm. See, yes. I know the whole history.
Yes.
So anyway, they are now to there, which means that they would have a gigantic industrial complex right up on Chambers Road.
Yes, right in our backyard.
So everybody understands geographically where we're talking about.
Yes.
So so they just want to build more buildings there, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And Planning and Zoning has voted for it?
Yes.
Okay. Now, what is the next step in this? What do you want people to know? Like, what's the next step for you?
The next step is now it's before the Boone Fiscal Court.
Okay.
Which that is important because this is the first time we're dealing with electable, accountable people.
And so everybody understands this. The fiscal court on any zoning matter in Boone County, if it's in the county and not a city, has the final vote.
Yes.
So the Boone County Fiscal Court gets the final vote. When will that final vote take place?
That will be July 27th at 5:30.
Okay, July 27th. What's the date today? Is the 16th?
Yes.
Okay, so what day of the week is that?
It'll be a Tuesday.
Okay, so Tuesday, July 27th, at what time?
It will be at 5:30.
5:30, and that's at the Boone County Fiscal Court building.
In Burlington, Kentucky.
In Burlington, Kentucky. So you want as many people as possible to lobby against this. You want as many people to come out and protest it, and your voice be heard to the fine elected officials of Boone County Fiscal Court, correct?
Absolutely. And if I may just give some reasons of why.
Absolutely. I want you to give, I'm going to shut up and let you give all those reasons.
First off, if people in the area are aware of this, but it's essentially a floodplain on Chambers. Chambers floods multiple times a year, covering the highway. This parcel owned by Greenfield is 205 acres, which is up on hills above where the floodplain is, that will be completely covered with concrete. So you're going to have, every time it rains, not only a deluge contributing to the floodplain that's flooding everyone out already and making roads unpassable, you're also going to have those creeks that run beside Chambers Road also have, they feed the Big Bone Lick watershed. So all the debris from the pavement that's a non-permeable surface is just going to come down, pollutants and all. We won't be able to get out of our houses. Second thing, this was actually denied by Planning and Zoning in 2007. The reason? They said the Richwood interchange was not completed yet. Well, meanwhile, between 2007 and now, we have buildings that have sprouted up everywhere in Boone County. So now they're saying, oh, the interchange is about ready to be complete. Our roads are swamped. You literally, and I'm talking from Triple Crown, Richwood Road, Chambers.
You know the worst road to drive across? Mount Zion on I-75.
Yes.
Anyway, go ahead.
Absolutely. And you have trucks that are, speeding because time's money for them. They're trying to get the quickest way possible. They have trucks that are turning around already without this development in Ms. Doer's front yard.
Wow.
I mean, it's becoming hazardous, and there is no plan to upgrade the other road infrastructure.
Well,
None at all.
Yeah, Chambers Road's a small little road. I mean, you're starting to butt up against it. I got to tell you a funny story. I was once part of the Greenfield Farm. It's a group of people, lawyers and others. I sold my share many years ago, so I'm totally familiar with this piece of property, and I'm totally familiar with the whole history of it all. But it does seem like it would be nice to have a buffer between them. I mean, it's like, okay, you've built enough of these locations. Do we have to have one right up against Chambers Road? Where do you draw the line? For example, if they approve this one, will they then jump across Chambers Road and want to do another one?
Well,
it's got to stop somewhere. Your group's main thing is it's got to stop somewhere, and it should stop here.
Give us breathing room.
Yeah.
Give it time to catch up the other infrastructure. And none of this, no drainage studies were done. Do you know the traffic study they did for Planning and Zoning? Only examined during COVID, by the way, the driveway that they expect going into the development.
Really?
Now, the Kentucky Department of Transportation is actually doing a study this summer, but in the 6-year plan, no plans to upgrade any roads for this additional traffic.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, they're also talking about they were approved a use for a food processing and manufacturing plant.
What kind of food? What smelly food?
So it's really, this just isn't the time, and I don't want people to misunderstand. I am pro-development. I am pro-business. I mean, if you know me, that's to my core. But you have to look. At some point, you have to preserve the property, how it's been characteristically used. For Ellis, it's always been farms and horses. These are farms that line this place. And you just can't put something up in our back door without a buffer, without making sure the traffic can flow, the people can get out of Triple Crown, which they barely can now, and as well as, controlling the drainage, preserving the water, and the flooding.
It is a good point about concrete. That when you don't have natural, I'm going for a zone change not too far from here on the old Robke farm off Walton Nicholson, and it's being used for nursery and landscaping and all that. And part of the argument we made is there's going to be no concrete. You don't have to worry about, when you got concrete, that water all hits and it's got to go somewhere. Is there anything else before we wrap this up you'd like to say?
Yes, and this is the reason not only do you look at the impact of development, also you need to look at the need. And let me give you some statistics here.
Give them to us.
In Boone County alone, there are 6.9 million available feet of industrial space on the market already.
Really?
In Boone County.
That's a good stat for you.
1.5 million is in the industrial park that they're wanting to put this right next to.
So in other words, there's already lots of vacants.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also, currently, there are 3.7 million warehouses under construction.
Square foot of warehouse.
3.7 million square feet.
Square feet.
So you're looking at over, combining them all, close to 10 million square feet that's not being leased. It's empty.
Amazon will probably lease it all.
They have good reach. I'll give you that.
Well, that's good. Well, I wish you the best of luck. May the Boone County Fiscal Court, because they're kind of pro-business too, but they're listeners. They'll listen to you.
And if I just may make a plea. To the
now is a chance. Make a plea.
Yes, I'm making a plea. Is we can change things. It takes people. It takes individual participation. Email the Boone Fiscal Court saying this is enough. We are finally in front of people that have to be accountable to the electorate. please, if you're opposed to this, as most of the community is that I've dealt with, contact the Boone Fiscal Court and please show up on July 27th at 5:30. The people will be heard.
All right. Thank you for coming in, Shannon Devine Tomlinson.
Thank you for having me.
All right. This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. May these people have their day.